Hello everyone. Welcome. Today we are back in Enthusia Professional Racing in our beautiful Peugeot 206 rally car. Beautiful. Fun fact about the Peugeot 206 rally car, because I did a little bit of research on it during kind of now that I had time to kind of read up more about it. First thing with the Peugeot 206 rally car, it actually won two of the WRC championships in 2000 and in 2002, both with Marcus Gronholm, a Finnish rally driver. A lot of, to be fair, there is many Finnish rally drivers that are all very fast. Oh boy, I forgot how understeery it is. Another cool thing about the Peugeot 206 is that the front and rear bumpers, if you look compared the Peugeot 206 rally car, the front and rear bumpers, if you take a look at them, as my audio is just a little bit too loud, let me adjust this just a second. There we go. Dial that back just a tad. Is with the front and rear bumpers, you'll notice that they extend further out compared to the standard Peugeot 206. Hello Minute Racer. Hope you're doing well today. Today we are in Enthusia Professional Racing. We are trying to level up our Peugeot 206 rally car. Made a couple adjustments to it. It now actually turns in a little bit nicer compared to the previous settings that we had for it. And the Peugeot 206 is talking about the front and rear bumpers on the rally car version. And that was because for the rally car version, I'm hoping the Knicks win tonight. Ooh. Are they the local sports teams? Hopefully they do well. But yeah, the front and rear bumpers on the Peugeot 206 rally car, the WRC car, it's they're extended because the minimum length for the FIA WRC at the time was, if I remember correctly, 4 meters, and the Peugeot 206, the standard super mini car, was just a bit shorter than that, so they had to extend it a bit further. I had to extend it just a little bit further to allow. I'm from Memphis. Knicks are my second favorite team. Grizzlies are the first. Oh, cool. Nice. Well, hopefully both of them do well. I imagine. Hopefully both of them do well. Oh boy. We're having lots of vehicular collision. A little bit of rubbing, a little bit of racing with the Lancer Evo behind us. The Evo was also very prominent in the early 2000s WRC scene, which also scored many. These categories have been losing recently. Oh, and it's always unfortunate when your favorite team or your favorite driver or your favorite player is always in a bit of a slump. As a big Sebastian Vettel fan, I can definitely empathize with that, where you want them to do well, but occasionally they don't do too great. So I can definitely empathize. Yeah, hopefully they're able to get their mojo back. Because here's the thing with sports, more so with racing more than anything else, but sports in general, I'm not the biggest fan of like really long streaks. On one hand, it's cool for a historical purpose, but on the other hand, either like really long losing or really long win streaks, I'm not the biggest fan of it, because it kind of makes it just a little bit boring. I love it when the battle is always super close, and it could be a coin flip as to whether or not you win or lose. I love those types of series or those types of championships and everything, because then no matter who wins, it's always super exciting. And it's always close even a close loss is better than a guaranteed win, I think, in my book. Yeah, I was up late watching the game against the Golden State Warriors. I hate the Warriors. That's the thing though, with rival teams and everything though, they push you. It is good to have those rivals, those people, because, well, yes, friends will push you to do well. Rivals will push you to go even further, to really kind of make you the best you can be. And that is why it is always good, even if you may not like your rival, it is good to have a rival. Which is always a good thing. To not have a rival is to stagnate, and to stagnate is to die. So it is. I definitely. Even if, you know, the rival, you know, you hate their guts and everything, it pushes you. It makes you better. It makes you want to be better than the rival, which is always, it's competition. It drives advancement. It drives, the push to be the better person, the better driver, the better ball player, which is always super nice. Plus, it makes for exciting games too. Speaking of really close sport stuff, the MX5 Cup was today, and I'm not going to spoil anything, but if you watch IMSA races in the States, you can probably watch the race replay up on YouTube in a couple weeks or so. The MX5 Cup at Daytona was a super close race. It was a pack finish, and it was exciting all the way up to the end. Oh my gosh. Yeah, no, rivalries are always super great. Alright, good. We're up. Speaking of rivalries, we are doing surprisingly well against the Mitsubishi Lancer Evo. The Evo, as well as the Impreza WRX STI, are both very big rivals against the Peugeot 206 in the early 2000s for the World Rally Championship. You had the very fast Mitsubishi Lancer Evo driven by Tommy Makinen, and then you had the Impreza STI driven by Richard Burns. Very fast drivers, all of them, and they were constantly trading victories back and forth. It was a very exciting time. Been playing Midnight Club 3 to finish up Tokyo after my save messed up. Last vehicle you can unlock was a Dodge Magnum. Oh, I love the Magnum. I wish, honestly, even if it was like a limited production vehicle, I would love Dodge to bring back the Magnum just for a limited run. Like use the modern Charger chassis, and then put the Hellcat engine in it. Call it something like the Dirty Harry edition or something cool like that. Or the Magnum 50 cow edition, or something. I think that would be really cool. Because the Magnum is definitely a dark horse in the Dodge brand, the Dodge lineup. I mean, I'm a little bit biased because I do love high performance wagons as well, and I would love to see more of those. Anything to replace, SUVs and CUVs and all that stuff. Station wagons, I think, especially high performance versions of station wagons, are really cool. And I think really the Magnum probably came just a bit too early to kind of really be a part of like the really high performance, modern Dodges of the 2010s, like with the Challenger and the newer Charger. So with the Magnum being, with you winning the Magnum, you probably don't have too many championships left. I'd imagine you have three or four left, I think. Probably closer to 3. You still have the Asakusa, I believe. 'Cause that one is a late championship. I think it was the second tournament. Oh. But what's the Dodge that comes later? Is that the Charger with the dub edition version? That may have been the Charger then. So I remember you getting 2 different Dodges in the Tokyo Challenge. So that may be the Dodge Charger then. Charger comes later. Yep, I got them mixed up. My apologies. Still, that's you know, good job getting, you know, the second championship done. Probably in that case you still have quite a bit more to go. But I mean, to be fair, you get unfortunately, you know, the data was lost. But you do get to play, you know, it is a very, very good racing game. Get to, you know, kind of enjoy the ride again. Customize some different vehicles, maybe get a couple vehicles set up. You know, try to do the championship, the tournaments with different vehicles and everything. Because I always like to try to change up what vehicles I use whenever I play through a game. 11 tournaments, 4 class base, and 7 vehicle base. Okay, so you got 2 of them done. So that's 9 left. Wow. Okay, so you still have a decent amount to do. But I mean, that's decent progress from Monday when you said you lost the save data. So that's good. All right, let's do a snow race. We haven't done a snow race yet. We've only done 1 race on Winter Trom. I would love to do more races on Winter Trom. It uses part of the Bergenschlucht was where you can see the town section as part of what's used in both of them. But then it goes off on an off-road section here. You have all the snow falling. Very, very slippery. They do a really good job of kind of modeling how the vehicle behaves in the snow, with it being very, very slippery, and it's being very, very easy to lock up the brakes. You kind of got to use the e-brake a little bit to get around the tighter corners. This game definitely did a really good job with the physics and handling. Alright, easy. Get the car turned in. Oh gosh. Alright, that's been an issue. Alright, let's get a car turnaround. Yeah, like I said, it's very, very slippery through the snow. And now we're gonna have to really pull something out of our hat to catch back up with the Subaru Impreza. Going easy around the corners. Alright, little jump here. Yeah, we're definitely pushing our car just a little bit. Now, just a little bit wide, a little tap on the wall there. We really need to push though to get up with that Subaru. We're 4 seconds behind. We definitely need to push, keep pushing, full attack. If we can gain about a second a lap, we'll be fine. That means we'll be able to pass them by the last lap. Alright, we're already up half a second. It's the tighter, twistiest parts that are going to make things just a little bit difficult. The Peugeot still does have a little bit of understeer that kind of goes into snap oversteer if we're not too careful. There we go, much smoother. Much better. Alright, get the car turned in. Alright, let's see if we can outbrake them. Ooh, it's gonna be close. Nice, we did it. That's a good move. Now we're having just a little bit of issues trying to keep the lead. Lots of vehicular contact again. Very, very... One of the downsides of the vehicle is being very, very close in performance. Is it's difficult to get a decent lead and keep the race clean to level up the vehicle. It makes leveling up the rally cars a much slower process, especially when the vehicles don't quite want to behave around the corners. It's a little bit tricky. We got the setup much better on. Oh gosh, the setup decent on the 206. And once I finish this race, I have to remind myself I want to show something. A good way to distinguish between the early and the later Peugeot 206 rally cars. There's two different ways to do that. It's the first way is to look at the livery of the vehicle, and the second way is to look at the hood or the bonnet of the vehicle. Because the newer ones, the 2002, 2003 models were very, very different from the 99 to 2001 models. And this vehicle we're in, this is the 2000 model. So right at the turn of the millennium, this one was a championship, a World Rally Championship winning car. Alright, we need to get back up. Gotta get back up ahead of the Impreza. Impreza's got a little bit of speed on us on the straights, but we do have decent acceleration as well as decent higher speed cornering. The low speed cornering is a little bit of an issue though. Nice and easy, there we go. Just barely clip that inside. Don't want to cut the corner too much or the game will yell at you and it will take more points away from you. And we wanna avoid losing, we wanna avoid having any off-course excursions, any wall collisions, any vehicle collisions. Because the cleaner we keep these races, the faster we can level up this vehicle. Touchdown comes immediately after the Magnum tournament. Oh! Oh, I have egg on my face. Still, the Charger looks really, really cool. The Dub Edition Charger with, it's an interesting look. It's classified as a tuner car, but it's, you know, the muscle car with the luxury dub parts. Granted, the dub parts on it do look quite nice. It's just a shame that that's the only type of parts you can install on it aside from the stock parts. But, oh well, c'est la vie. Still one of the faster dub vehicles you can get in the game. We gotta get it turned in just a little bit. There we go. And we're trying to... Unfortunately, the Peugeot 206 historically never really did all that well. I mean, it did decently in a couple of the Sweden rallies, but the Rally Monte Carlo, the one that happened in France, the ones that happened in France and the ones that happen that go to from France to Monaco. The Peugeot 206 never really had the best of luck, despite the shorter wheelbase, the decent tarmac handling, which is, you know, the Monte Carlo rallies is mostly on tarmac. Something personal about me, but I like to keep the Dub Edition vehicles stock in terms of visuals. It's a mixed bag. Some of them look really, really nice. The Escalade truck and the Chrysler, oh, I can see it. The Chrysler sedan, one of the first dub cars you win. The 300C, there we go. Having a mind blank here, batting 1,000 today. Those ones I think look really, really nice with the dub and everything because they have the mesh grills And, you know, they're already, you know, personal luxury vehicles. So to have, you know, more bling on them, you know, it doesn't look like it deteriorates in performance. But some of the other dub vehicles, especially the dub vehicles in Mini Club LA, I didn't really like the dub vehicles in Mini Club LA. I think with that, I think with Mini Club LA, the dub vehicles kind of were a bit of a miss, just because with most of them it was muscle cars or a Lamborghini. In which case, I think the visuals look a bit too much on them, just a little too gaudy. Like a Murcielago. See, in that regards, I like to keep my supercars looking mostly stock, but my luxury and my tuner cars, I like to kind of pimp out a bit. And the Charger, especially the earlier Chargers, it's kind of a good mix of luxury and muscle car and everything. So with that one, I'm kind of like, okay, I can at least see it, you know, being dubbed out. And I think it looks decent enough for the setting and the atmosphere of the game. It doesn't look bad. But the Murcielago, like I like in Mini Club LA, I like to keep my supercars looking mostly stock. Maybe a change in rims, or like a very slight visual upgrade. But yeah. But the tuners, SUVs, the lowriders, especially the lowriders. The lowriders I love customizing. Those are a lot of fun. Under the Dub Charger tournament, the Dub SL55 AMG. Ooh, nice. Gotta use the dub. I used the dub to win the dub. Oh, but while we have the vehicle here, while we have the vehicle visual to us spinning around in a circle, easy way to determine that this is an earlier model Peugeot 206 rally car. Evening, Sprockets. Hope you're doing well today. Easy way to determine that this is an early Peugeot 206 rally car. The first way to tell is with the livery. This livery is almost entirely silver. The 2001 and 2002 models have, at least the Peugeot-backed ones, have, they're still silver, but they have a red splash along the side, the low side, and along the lower part of the front hood, with the total sponsorship. And then the 2003 version has a livery that was almost reminiscent of a lot of the factory-backed Mitsubishi Lancer Evos, with the bright red and white coloring. Another way to tell this is an early Peugeot 206 rally car is if you look on the front hood here, on the driver's side, that little black NACA duct, that got removed, and the hood was changed out for a different hood for better cooling in the 2002 season. So this is a pre-2002 Peugeot 206. And of course, the easiest way to tell is the fact that it gives the vehicle its year right at the very bottom. But I mean, if you don't know the year, if the game doesn't tell you. I had the perfect opportunity to do the Dub Magnum tournament and the Dub 300C, but I used my Hero 300C instead. Yeah, I mean, the 300C is still a very nice car. Especially once they did the later SRT8 version. The later 300C looks very nice. Kind of reminiscent of the early kind of 60s and 70s sort of American luxury cars with a 3-box style. Alright, let's roll. Come on, good launch into the desert. Now, one of the issues the Peugeot 206 had, well, it was very quick, especially on tarmac. The 206 did suffer quite a bit of reliability issues, especially in the longer and much bumpier rallies, such as the Kenya rally and as well as the Safari rally. Those caused quite a bit of issues. Those caused quite a bit of issues for the 206. Hunters in the tournament properly classed? Good. Good. Because I know some of the class-based tournaments, especially if you save them for endgame, the class-based tournaments really getting B-class opponents to A-class opponents. That's very good. Good job. That's very good RNG. Because a lot of in that game, I know, especially when you save the Tokyo Tokyo Challenge mode for later, the opponents kind of you'll be in a C-class car, and you'll be racing against A-class opponents. Granted. I've never raced against, like, you know, the fastest of A-class type vehicles with the C-class car, but I still had to race against A-class vehicles in a C-class car. So it's good you're racing against, you know, fair competition. Because that's the thing, I definitely... That's my biggest gripe about Midnight Club is you'll just be finishing up fully upgrading a D-class car, and the opponents are already in B-class vehicles. And it makes things just a little bit tricky. So you kind of need to cheat against the cheatsy AI in order to win. Because otherwise, they not only have more nitrous than you, but the vehicles themselves are just, in general, faster. Which does make things just a little bit difficult. Got that upgrade nitrous and SL55, so I had 2 shots instead of 4. That's alright, as long as everything else is upgraded, the nitrous doesn't matter too much. It does become just a little bit difficult. Especially on the more high-speed circuits. The nitrous in itself isn't, you know, it is somewhat useful, but it's not necessary for a fast vehicle. Nice, alright, we're up to level 7 in our Peugeot 206. Our ranking number is being maintained. Alright, next rally race. We haven't done a Dragon Range race yet. Oh, and we're gonna be up against the Subaru Impreza. We're gonna be at a little bit of a disadvantage because Impreza does have a better turn-in, and this is a very tight, almost Toge duel. We will be doing mountain racing in WRC rally cars. Went to the garage and installed because the SL55 has another performance upgrades. That's a good point. I forgot that certain vehicles, especially the ones that kind of quote-unquote come from a tune already, like the Gembalas and the AMGs, you can't really upgrade them, which makes things just a little bit difficult. It also means that sometimes you have to consider, like, you know, which vehicle you want to use, and how which one if the baseline vehicle performance for those tuned vehicles will be enough, or if another vehicle, once it's fully tuned, will be faster. And it does make things a little bit tricky. Which is also why I frequently use the Dodge Ram SRT-10, which is a vehicle that needs more love in racing games, by the way. The SRT-10 Ram. But I use that frequently to get the big players, the truck races, as opposed to the Gembala. I forget the actual alphanumeric number for it, but it's basically the Gembala tuned Porsche Cayenne. I use that. I don't use that one all that much. And that Impreza's got that inside line through the hairpin. Come on. We gotta use our inner Takumi. Let's ease up just a tad, so we can get a good run going down the back straight without getting blocked. And maybe try to do a diving pass. Couldn't quite make it around the outside. We still have that acceleration. We did tune the vehicle for more acceleration than normal, which is paying off on the sort of medium speed straights. Very good. All right, tight twisty bits. Here we go. Use some e-brake. Get the car spun around the hairpins. That SL55 isn't very durable. Yeah, for the luxury sedans and stuff like that, it is one of the lighter vehicles. And I forget which... There's a few of the luxury sedans that don't get aggro, but instead get zone. And I think the SL55 is one of them. I know the the Lexus SC430, that one gets zone, despite being a luxury sedan, and I think there's one or two others that get zone, which are kind of weird. Because they're still not quite fast enough to be, you know, tuner cars, but, you know, and they are still fairly heavy, but they're a bit faster than some of the other luxury sedans. And it's just a very, very weird design choice to not give every... The only one gets zone is the SL500. Okay, thank you for that. I'm like, I know it's one of the Lexuses, and I think it's like one or two of the Mercedes. Yeah, the SL500, that one gets zone as well. Yeah, that's a very, very weird design choice by the devs. There we go, we got a tuning leveled up even further. Nice. My vehicle now is super, super lightweight. There we go, our ranking has increased even more. Alright, we got this. Vehicle's getting faster. Let's do the Edge of the Road Rallycar Series. Oh, and because the SL55 is in a tuned SL500 zone too. Gotcha. Okay. So I'm like, I know it's a couple of the Mercedes. But yeah. It's a weird design choice. I'm not sure I entirely agree with the decision the developers made for that. I would rather prefer have all the luxury vehicles to have aggro. Because you don't get to use that much, because usually when you're going through the game, you're using either tuner or muscle in the first three tiers, and then either sport bikes or exotics in the final tier. So you don't really get a chance to use aggro until you really kind of unless you go out of your way to purchase a luxury vehicle. Or you just really want to use the 300C and sell off your starter car. But your starter car usually has better performance than a 300C and is already at least partially tuned at that point. So it doesn't quite make sense to go through the career mode with aggro. So to have some of the faster luxury vehicles have zone instead of aggro also is a little bit of a missed opportunity, I think. Because aggro is a really cool ability. It's not the most useful compared to roar or zone, but it is still a really fun ability because you just get to yeet traffic cars and racing vehicles and everything out of the way, which is always fun. Maybe it's because in original those are the only 3 two-door luxury cars. Maybe excited more two-door luxury cars in the aggro. That might be the case. It's still just a strange decision. So, I mean, the Dodge Ram ST10. Yeah, it's a Dodge Ram, but it's got the heart and transmission of a Viper. The Dodge Viper. So you'd think, oh, okay, well, the Viper is already in this game, classified as a tuner car. But no, that one still gets aggro. Well, the heavily tuned Gambala. Granted, that one's a remix car. And it's just interesting. I do like the ability to pick whatever ability you wanted in Midnight Club LA. And they definitely balance them a lot, the abilities more in Midnight Club LA. With the aggro, kind of preserving momentum more, and all of them being, you have to just drive cleanly to get them, to get the charges to use them. So you don't have to go out of your way to do, things that are detrimental to your race pace, like trying to drift on a chopper. In that regards, the 3 abilities are much better balanced. Roar isn't quite as OP as it is in 3. In 3, Roar is very powerful, just due to the fact of due to how much it affects the other racers. If they're going over a jump or about to go over a jump, you use roar right then, and they will be pretty much out of the race entirely. Or if they're going across a bridge that has the destructible side railings, use roar then, and they'll go off the bridge, and again they're pretty much out of the race. Whereas zone and aggro aren't quite as useful in Midnight Club 3. Yeah, roar makes muscle cars the best choice for pretty much pretty much any time you're going to be outclassed in terms of performance, which is most of the career mode. Roar is very, very powerful. But I also love my muscle cars, so I can't complain too much, because it's always fun to watch the opponents yeet themselves into oblivion, and to also, you know, spam that whenever, as soon as you lose the lead, just spam that again. Only thing roar doesn't quite work as well on is against motorcycles. But for that, you just make sure you hit them off. Alright, so far we're doing very well. We're up ahead of the Citroen Xterra. Citroen Xterra, the WC car, was sort of a late bloomer. It had its big victories from Sebastian Loeb, and I believe 2003 was the first one for it. I thought 2003 or 2004 was the first Citroen Xterra rally car WC championship victory. And it was kind of cool seeing, you know, the performance of all the different sort of French vehicles during that time period. A lot of really cool cars. And I do hope WSC, with the new regulations and everything, with the hybrids, it does entice more manufacturers to come and play. Because those new WSC cars, the Rally 1 class is what it's called now. Oh, they look and sound so cool. Surprised Midnight Club 3 had a Marilyn Manson song in its soundtrack, considering how controversial of an artist he is. Yeah, to be fair, during that time period, when Midnight Club 3 came out, he wasn't quite as controversial as he was today. He was more so just seen as very weird, very edgy at that time period. Whereas nowadays, he's much more controversial. Unfortunately, a lot of racing game soundtracks have not quite, in terms of musical style, they've aged very well, but in terms of the artist, yeah, at the time we didn't quite know he was a horrible person. And unfortunately, a lot of early 2000s racing game soundtracks, in terms of the people they featured, haven't aged quite so well. For example, Need for Speed Underground had Lost Prophets and Mystical, both of which have band members that did some very bad things, to put it lightly. But at the time, it wasn't quite known. So it's, yeah, it always makes things a little bit awkward to go back and revisit. I thought it was more controversial in the late 90s or the 2000s because of the Fault shooting allegation. Yeah, he was a bit controversial during that as well. Yeah, he's... But back then, people were more so kind of like, oh, haha, he's just being edgy for edginess sake. Whereas today, it's a little bit more, no, he kind of means some of that, which makes things, yeah. Controversial people, I mean, to be fair, during that time period, though, he was also very, very popular with regards to music. I mean, the first Matrix movie featured the same song in during the end credits. So I'm familiar with that song. Yeah. And it's just, yeah, it is always unfortunate to see an artist become like that. Hopefully I don't ever become like that. I'm a very, very, very boring aerospace engineer who just likes cars. Hopefully. Anyways, beat the tournament. Great. Good. So that's now the double edition charge you've won. So that's 3 of 11. Now that's another race 1. More level ups, which is good. Alright, we got potentially one more race with the Peugeot 206, and then we'll be back with the compact cars. Let's do one more race in the desert against the Xera. French duel in the heat. Both very, very nice cars. Very, really cool. The new World Muscle Car class is a tuner in a game. Yeah, it's unfortunately the most modern muscle car. They didn't really consider like the modern muscle cars in that game. It definitely suffers from very, very strange class allocation. Especially once you get to the faster levels. Like it has the Lotus Elise, more or less a budget exotic car, classified as a tuner car. It's, you know, it's got lots of classic sort of modern American muscles and lower tier exotic cars like the Lotus Esprit, you know, the Corvette Z06, the Viper concept. Has them all classified as tuner cars. It's they kind of wrote themselves into a corner when they classified, you know, the Skyline, you know, the R34 and the Supra as Class C tuner cars, because then they got to be like, well, what's faster than the Skyline? That's a tuner. Oh crap, we don't know, and so it makes things difficult. Whereas if they had, they probably should have been introducing an exotic class, exotic segment of Class B. Yeah, I think so too. Because there is a decent amount of vehicles they could have put in there. And then what they should have done is moved up, you know, the Skyline, the Supra. Maybe put in like, you know, the Mitsubishi 3000 GT. In you know, Class B tuners, and then have Class C tuners be more so like, you know, your Mitsubishi Evos, your Nissan Zs, the Charger and the Luxury. Yeah, that one's kind of interesting. It's one that could honestly be either in luxury or in like muscle cars if they included modern muscle cars in with the muscle class. I think the most modern vehicle in the muscle class was what, the 96 Impala SS, I think it was. That wasn't a luxury car. That was a muscle car, right? Yeah, that one is considered a muscle car. That is the most modern muscle car in the class, and that one could honestly be either muscle or luxury as well, with it being, you know, a heavy, high performance, you know, 4-door quarter saloon sedan. All right. Spec 1, Spec 2, profile. Okay, so we can't do vehicles that we haven't already driven yet. So let's go back to the compact cars. Back to the start. All right, we got 4 to choose from. We have 4 to choose from. We got the Toyota Fun Cargo, the Volkswagen Polo, the Toyota Volts, and the Honda City Turbo 2. So let us pull up the handy dandy random number generator. Oh dear. My controller fell off of my lap. Alright, so if it is 1, we're going to be doing the Toyota Fun Cargo. If it is 4, we're going to be doing the Honda City Turbo. And if it's anything in between, we'll do anything in between. 4, the Honda City Turbo. Excellent. Very, very lightweight. Very nimble little City Turbo. So cute. Definitely want one of these. The cool thing about the City Turbo as well is it came with a little motorbike when you bought it, which is really, really cool. The little, hang on, I want to actually pull up the little City Turbo motorbike. It's a little itty bitty scooter right here. And it folded up and it fit right into the back of the City Turbo, which is hilarious. But it was just a really, really cool feature that you don't see much in modern vehicles. I don't know why, but I love the old Chevy Cobalts. Oh, the Chevy Cobalts are super cool too. You know, the at the time they were one of the very, very fast vehicle for being super cheap. They were very, very, very nimble. And at the time they had one of the fastest lap times on the Nürburgring Nordschleife for the price point. And especially once they went to the turbocharged version, it was a very, 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 very fast vehicle. Very, very nice cars. Love to get a secret motorcycle with my car. Yeah, it's just the little things, the little quirky things like that make me love some of these cars, because you're like, the G35 is classified as a luxury car for some reason. You see, that could have very easily been a tuner car, because the G35 is basically like, it is literally built on the same platform as the 350Z. And it has the same 3.5 liter G engine, VQ engine as the G30, as the Nissan Z. It's the VQ35 something something something. I can't remember the exact. VQ35DE. Yeah, the VQ35DE. And that, was. It's basically a rebadged Nissan Z. There isn't really any way to go around it. Yeah, that could have very easily been a C-class tuner car. I'm gonna be starting up front with a little Honda City Turbo. Very lightweight, very nimble, but it has a decent amount of power due to the turbocharger on it. A little bit of turbo lag though, because it is an older 80s turbocharged car. Super much. Name the last time you saw a stock G35 on the road. You can't. Nope. I have seen a couple, not stock, but I have seen quite a few modified ones. Usually they've been straight piped and stanced and everything, which isn't quite my style, but I mean, more power to them. It's just once people figure it out that they're basically, yeah, no, I haven't seen any stock G35s. I did see a stock G37, but not a G35. Once people kind of figured out that they are basically Nissan 350Zs, but without, you know, the sports car, but without the sports car, you know, stigma with regards to insurance, and they can classify it more as sort of a luxury car. A lot of people kind of gobbled them up once once they became more depreciated, and now most of them are, you know, plate modified, and it's basically become sort of an alternative to the Z, just like the one Saab is basically just a rebadged Subaru Impreza STI, but with cheaper insurance. I forget the actual name of that Saab, but there is a Saab that is basically just a rebadged Subaru Impreza, and it looks super cool. It's got that Saab look and everything. It's got the Saab badging, but yeah, you have the Boxer rumble as well, which is very, very nice. And we are getting blown away by a GTR. Oh, the IS300. That is a car that I used to see quite a bit in the early days, but not anymore. The IS300 kind of, with the clear taillights, it kind of created a trend of a lot of other people doing that with their tuner cars and everything. And it was one of the big style features of a lot of the tuner cars in the early 2000s. It was, you know, super cool to have the Altezza style taillights on your car, especially if they had the chrome backing as well. Nowadays it looks kind of sketch, but at the time it was very, very, very cool. It was basically the bolted on fender flares of the early 2000s, where everyone wanted it. You know, you were super cool if you had it. People were putting them on pretty much every vehicle. You know, big luxury cars, yep. little tiny econo boxes, yep. Your Chevy Cavalier, yep. And it was very, very, very interesting that at that time the input tuner scene was just sort of catching on. People were watching Fast and Furious, playing Need for Speed Underground, and they were like, oh wow. IS300 was actually the last car you made before the save got corrupted. Uh-oh. Better be careful making another one. You don't want that to be the triggering factor. The game can't handle the Altezza taillights. Oh, understeer. It did not want to turn in. I'm gradually trying to slow it down, and it just does not want to turn in. The city turbo on the higher speed corners, it's got a little bit of understeer still, as with the nature of being a very, very small front-wheel drive car. I do kind of miss a little bit of the early 2000s input tuner culture, though. It seemed like there was a bit, people took it a bit less seriously. It was more so just, oh wow, that looks cool. Well, wow, I should do that to my car. And then, you know, people are kind of going off on doing that. Whereas nowadays it's like, oh, I don't like that build. Oh no, oh meh. It was very, very, very different time, I think. Someone on Discord wanted to make his IS300, and that happened. Oh, cool. Yeah, IS300 is definitely another underrated car that I would love to see in more racing games, especially like tuner games and stuff like that. Just another kind of cool, fun, sort of lightweight sport compact car from the early 2000s that would make some really, really cool customization. You don't see many of those though, stock or modified. I wonder what happened to them. I mean, they were powered by a Toyota Inline 4. They couldn't have been unreliable. And they were a lightweight, rear-wheel drive, you know, four-door sporty car. I'm genuinely surprised I don't see more of them. Maybe Maryland weather and Maryland rust got to them, at least in my area. His YouTube is Stevio2175 if you want to check him out. Alright, I'll have to check them out after the stream. Especially if he does car stuff. Alright, we're down in third still. The Jaguar and the GTR both kind of ran a train on us a little bit. Down through one of the high-speed sections, the high-speed twisty bits. And we do have another car close behind. Mostly does Forza Horizon 5 content. Ooh, I haven't gotten Forza Horizon 5. I should get it. It's on sale this weekend. I should get it. But I don't know, I need to watch budget and stuff like that too after you know, Christmas and everything. Kind of save up a little bit. Plus, my gaming backlog is already absolutely huge. I do not want to add any more games to my gaming backlog. Yeah, I'll have to check that out. That'd be a lot of cool. Okay, little bit of turn in oversteer. It's just a little bit twitchy. Game is adding the 2023 Nissan Z next week. Oh, nice. Yeah, that one looks quite. I might be the minority in this one, but I really like the new look of the new Z. It's got a look that's very reminiscent of sort of the really older like 240Zs and everything, especially the early 70s 240Zs. Just with the very long fronts, the front ends, and the kind of more angular styling. I think it looks really nice. Plus, it was the 370Z had been around for a very long time. It was the Z was definitely due for an update, quite a big update. Because the 350Z had been around for a while, and then the 370Z came out, and everyone was hyped for that. And it's strange if you play you know, Need for Speed Hot Pursuit 2010. The 370Z was either just released or like as a concept car in that game. Like it was like classified as, you know, a brand new vehicle. And then 10 or so years later, the remaster comes out, and Nissan is still producing the 370Z. I love how Rockstar got around the Ferrari licensing with Gambella. Yeah, with Ferrari, Porsche, mainly Ferrari and Porsche, EA had exclusivity rights to a lot of those manufacturers, and very few other companies could really get the license. If they did, they had to pay quite a bit. So a lot of gaming companies opted to use instead Roof or Gambala as the two other companies, because under German law, technically, because for both of those, the vast majority of the vehicle is being replaced with custom components. Despite the fact that they share the same chassis, they are legally classified as, and listed as entirely different production vehicles. Yeah, only have Porsche. Ferrari didn't want to be tuned. Okay, so with that one then, I guess it was just also the licensing for Ferrari was very expensive. Because I know it took the Polyphony Digital forever to get the Ferrari license. It took them a very long time because they weren't even able to get them in Gran Turismo 4. And now at that point, you know, Gran Turismo was already a very big in, you know, the sim or the simcade experience. But yeah, on the bright side though, it definitely allowed young Isaac to learn more about some of those other companies, as well as a little bit about German vehicle law. Because I'm a weird automotive nerd. I learned a little bit about German vehicle and automotive law there, about what constitutes a separate production vehicle versus a tuned vehicle based off of, you know, an original car. And there's like a certain percentage of parts that need to be replaced in order for it to be considered a different vehicle despite sharing the same chassis. Which is how, you know, Polyphony and so many other companies were able to get away with using roofs and gambalas and everything in place of Porsche. Which is good as well, because I love the F355. It's probably my favorite of the mid-engine Ferraris in terms of looks. It just looks so nice. Ooh, front-wheel drive. Front-wheel drive race. The very tight, very technical Tsukuba circuit would do well in our very lightweight, very nimble, very nimble Honda City Turbo. Even today, Ferrari is still strict with customization. Forza Horizon 3 had a Liberty Walk body kit for the 458, and in Forza Horizon 4 it got removed and during return to Forza Horizon 5. And yeah, Ferrari is a bit interesting in that regards. Because I think, if I remember correctly, in Need for Speed 2015, I'm not sure in the other ones, but I remember in Need for Speed 2015, you couldn't even change the wheels on either the Ferraris that were in that game, the F40 or the 458 Italia. Which is a shame because honestly, sometimes the tuned Ferraris look really cool when they have the modifications done to them, as opposed to just delivery. But it's unfortunate. If Ferrari are going to go that way and say, no, you can't put aftermarket parts on our vehicles, then in that regards, I would much rather them at least then offer other Ferrari licensed parts, like officially licensed Ferrari parts, to modify on the vehicle. And Unbound you can, thankfully. Okay, that's good. Yeah, I tried to use the Ferrari back in 2015, and I got burnt out a little bit because I couldn't modify them, so I didn't touch them in either Unbound or Heat. Well, I didn't play Unbound, but I didn't touch them in Payback or Heat. But yeah, it is interesting. At the very least, I would much rather them have, you know, other official Ferrari licensed parts, and like other optional parts for that vehicle that like you can option out directly from a Ferrari dealership. If you're not going to allow aftermarket parts, at least allow more of your own parts to be used in the game. Ferrari wasn't even Payback. Oh yeah, I forgot about that. They weren't. That's why I didn't use them in Payback, because they weren't in Payback. Whoopsie daisies. Yeah, no, because like for example, Test Drive Unlimited 2, it had Ferraris in it, but you could still make the Ferrari your own because there was multiple different Ferrari licensed wheels, multiple different Ferrari colors you can put on your car, you know, custom interiors and everything. So your car is still, you know, it looks like something that would come directly off a Ferrari showroom. There's no modifications or anything like that. But you could at least, you know, make that Ferrari your own Ferrari, as opposed to just, yeah, here's a Ferrari rescan. You can't change anything on it in a game of, you know, that's partially about vehicle customization and everything. It does make things just a little bit silly. Whereas Lamborghini, the big Italian Ferrari rival, they're like, oh hey, you wanna have our cars? Do you wanna have as many body kits as possible for them? Go crazy. And that's the Huracan. The Huracan had so much customization in Payback and Heat. Oh my gosh, it was very nice with the wide body and everything. Looked very nice. The Huracan was sort of my end game Heat car. It was bright white with the tricolor down the middle, and very nice sort of high gloss black HRE wheels. And that was sort of my end game car. That was super nice. But yeah, I definitely wish Ferrari would come around on customization in their games. Because customizing the vehicle is sort of how you get younger people sort of really interested in, you know, your cars. If they pick up the vehicle and they're like, oh, I can't do anything with it, they're gonna think Ferrari is kind of a more stuffy brand. Midnight Club 3 is only going to make menus and loading screens cool. Either, I mean, Pro Streets menus are pretty cool. I kind of like the atmosphere of Pro Streets, where with the menus and everything, you know, you're at the different events, you hear the announcer in the background. You know, it made the world feel very alive, especially in the next gen versions, the PS3 and the Xbox 360 versions, and the PC versions, where the background was also animated. You see people interacting with each other, taking pictures of the cars. Your vehicle is also among them as well. I thought they did a really good job of making, you know, loading screens and menus more atmospheric and very memorable. But yeah, Midnight Club 3 was definitely the first to really kind of really make really cool, at least in terms of the racing genre, make really cool loading screens. Because, you know, you're flying through the city, going to different landmarks and everything, depending on what option you choose. And it's very nice. It's good to kind of get you immersed in the world as well, because you're like, hey, I recognize that landmark. I've raced past it at 200 some miles an hour. Cool. Alright. Final corner. Let's make sure we do not lose second place. Very close opponent behind us. There we go. Nice, across the line. Nice. Nice. Alright, let's see if we're able to unlock the Vitz RS Turbo, another hot hatch. Yes! We can. We did unlock it. Beautiful, turbocharged, lightweight. Also known as the Yaris in the States. Very cool little itty bitty car. The performance versions anyway, the standard versions. 90 speed to special edition shopping frames my laptop. Trying to mess around with the configuration file. Yeah, emulation is always very. Or if you're trying to play the PC version as well, it's playing some of the old games is always a little bit difficult at times. Definitely makes things just a little bit tricky. Trying to get everything working. Alright, let's go to the next race. Let's see what we have available to us. A low-end steering challenge. It's got high stakes working. Yeah, that's true. High stakes is a really good. That was sort of the pre-Black Box era. It's definitely a really good one. Alright, we do not have a whole lot of options that won't absolutely blow us out of the water. To the Pacific Challenge. Can maybe win a Nissan Primera. That'll be an interesting one to win. Add one more vehicle to our collection. Give us more options to choose from. Make us put us one step closer to unlocking every vehicle and then getting every vehicle to level 10. That is at least the preliminary goal. Oh, and you can already hear the turbo blow-off valve. So nice. That's one thing I like about this game is the more the vehicle gets tuned, the more you can hear the changes in the engine. You can hear the turbo blow off valve, the turbo whistle, indicating you got a much larger turbo installed, more power, despite the incredibly low displacement of the engine. It is making quite a bit of power because of the turbocharger. Downside is, because of the turbo lag, you do get a little bit of snap understeer. Once it gets up into the turbo, once the turbo gets spooled up. Because then the car wants to shoot straight and pull you just straight ahead. With it being a very high boost reliant, lightweight front wheel drive car, it does make things just a little bit tricky. Pump. Speaking of G35s, we do have a G35 right behind us. And that car is going to be a little bit difficult to beat, especially with this track being very high speed focused. We do have a little bit of an advantage in the twisty bits, as we can kind of outmaneuver and outdrive the G35. But otherwise, yeah, this one's gonna be a little bit tricky. Well, I think in this game, it's one they use the Japanese variant of the G35, which is the Nissan Skyline, the Nissan Skyline 350 GT. You know, they're pretty much the same car. Built on the same chassis, same engine. Pretty much similar in performance. I gotta watch ourselves through the chicane, through the bus stop. It's very easy to get just a little bit squirrely in the heavy braking. There we go, on to the second lap now. Let's keep that G35 behind us. Oh, I can't pull out of the slide. Okay. A little bit tricky there. Definitely need to avoid taking that corner as fast in the future. But here's a little itty bitty Honda City Turbo 2. It's so cute. Definitely love to own one of these. It's just a quirky, fun car. Alright. Go to the inside. Use the lightweight nature of the little city. Try to pull a gap. Nope, weren't quite able to do that. Alright, suck back in behind the G35. Into the slipstream on the back straight. Alright, we can dive down the inside here, I think. Nope. Yes? Oh, he left the door open for us. He got a little bit intimidated. He made a mistake. Nice. Oh, it keeps wanting to understeer. Oh, the next one. Sweet. Congratulations. That's good. Hopefully the Grizzlies, you said that was your other favorite team, hopefully they do well as well. Let's get back up in front. Let's see if we can't win this race. Let's get back up in front of the little, not necessarily little, we have no room to call this little. Let's get back up in front of the G35. We got a couple corners left against the Celtics, who are ranked #1 in the league. Sweet. So that'll definitely help. That'll definitely help a bit with the rankings. Definitely help with championship or at least season chances. Oh, we were not able to. Oh, we just weren't quite able to get up in front of the the Skyline 350 GT. That's unfortunate. Now let's see if we won the Primera. Nice. Very, very nice. We won that as well. Very good. Nice. Alright, tuning level is higher. Each race, we're thankfully the compacts. The compacts are very quick to tune up, which is good. We should have this by level 10 by the end of, definitely by 11. Alright, next race. We're halfway there. Alright, let's see what else we have available to us. The Japanese car limited race, the Honda Cup. Front drive limited race on Victoria Road. We can win a PT Cruiser. Let's do it. Let's win the PT Cruiser. Fun fact. The PT Cruiser was actually one of... there was 2 different PT Cruisers used in the scramble scene in Too Fast, Too Furious. Which is really funny, seeing, you know, all these sort of early 2000s Japanese and European tuners and everything. And then you see 2 PT Cruisers also coming out of the garage as well. Really, really funny. All the different vehicles involved. But to be fair though, in when the PT Cruiser was during the PT Cruiser's life cycle, they did actually make a turbocharged GT. Was it the GT variant? But they did make a turbocharged variant of the PT Cruiser that, with the manual transmission, was actually reasonably sporty for a PT Cruiser. Which is really funny that they kind of was sort of the precursor, at least a semi-precursor to sort of the SR. Not say precursor, they're kind of created roughly around the same time, or at least in development at the same time. But it's sort of a sister car to the Dodge SRT4. It's very, very, very funny. The turbocharged PT Cruiser. To be fair, they made so many variants. They made a convertible version. They made, you know, a whole bunch of variations to make them look like, you know, the Woody, the Surfer variants. PT Cruiser had such a long life cycle. And I remember when it first came out, people were like, "Oh wow, this car is super cool," and nowadays they kind of looked at much less favorably. But at the time, they were considered, you know, super cool, you know, because they had the 40s, you know, 40s Woody wagon styling and everything that everyone was, you know, all hyped for. That and the Chrysler Prowler, everyone, oh my gosh, people were gushing over the Prowler when that first came out. And to be fair, the Prowler itself is still a really, really cool. It's not a fast car. It is not a good car. With it being only a V6 automatic transmission, kind of not that fast vehicle. During an era where Chrysler automatic transmissions were not that great, to put it lightly. But it looked so cool with it being, you know, with its sort of hot rod inspired design. I'd love to see maybe like an LS swap with a 6-speed manual, Chrysler Prowler, or even if they can fit like a smaller block Chrysler V8. Kind of playing a special event at Need for Speed Low Limits to get the Unbound 190E. Oh, cool, nice. Best of luck with that. Now I don't have much experience with No Limits. That's the mobile game, right? Unfortunately, I do kind of stay away from the mobile games. One, because my phone is very very old. It's a very old, early gen smartphone. Yeah, it's a mobile game. Okay. And two, because oftentimes I need my phone quite a bit for work stuff. And so I usually try to keep a lot of data free on it and keep the battery charged up in case I need to go one call. But it is interesting how, you know, mobile gaming kind of started as sort of a niche, you know, very, very niche thing back in, you know, the early mid aughts. And now it's, you know, multi-billion dollar industry and some of the games can potentially, a fully fledged game. It's not just little sitting on the toilet games, which is very, very interesting. The evolution, not only in the processing power for graphics and other, storage and everything on the phone, but also the rate of development for mobile games, going from, like I said, just a very, very niche, Angry Birds, Fruit Ninja, and everything like that, where it's just a little, a 60-minute repetitive sort of, hey, you just slide your finger, do stuff, watch flashy things, and then, you kind of put it up for a bit, and then next time you're bored or waiting for something, you kind of do that. So now it's oh yeah, no, this is a game that's like, got cutscenes, and, it's a fully fledged, campaign mode and everything. It's very, very, very interesting seeing that change. So much has changed in my lifetime, and I'm only in my mid-20s. And now I feel old. On the bright side, I am old enough to be legally imported to the United States if I was a gray market vehicle that wasn't initially created for the United States market. I am old enough to be legally imported. Old enough for historic tags. I'm not helping my case. Now let's see if we're able to win the PT Cruiser. I hope so. That'd be a lot of fun to drive it. Yes, we're having good luck with unlocking these vehicles. Beautiful. Specialty car. It's not a wagon. It's not a sedan. It is a specialty car because it technically, under US emission law, it technically is classified as a light truck due to its weight and size and dimensions, which is one of the ways Chrysler kind of had that. One of the reasons Chrysler had that in production for so long was to kind of help bump up their average emissions numbers. Despite the fact that sales tapered off very, very rapidly. Ooh, the ultimate map. So I didn't mention a few minutes ago, but the next one into overtime. Oh, okay. Did they win from overtime, or is this Okay, yeah. So the next one from overtime. Cool, nice. Those are always the exciting games because it's it goes down to the wire. It makes things super exciting. Unless you have work or school or something like that the next morning, then you're like, oh, let it be over. I gotta get up. I gotta get up early. But it is always very, very exciting. Racing itself doesn't really go into overtime too much, because oftentimes there's usually time limits or lap limit. Usually for a lot of Grand Prix events and everything, there's usually a time limit of 2 hours of racing before the event is called. So if there's a race with a lot of full course yellows and safety cars and everything, oftentimes it'll turn into a time-based event. But I do remember back in 2011, staying up, and just, well, I mean, granted, it was during the daytime, thankfully, because it was, same time zone, or I think one time zone over. But for the Canadian Grand Prix, due to the sheer amount of rain and the fact that the race was red flagged so many times, I was waiting for hours to finally get it, finally actually watch the rest of the race and to get a conclusion, especially because, It was, you know, Sebastian Vettel was there as well, and he was, you know, on a tear. Unfortunately, Sebastian Vettel didn't win that race, but I stayed up still to watch that close battle on the last couple of laps. It was very, very good driving by both drivers there. It was very, very, very fun. At the time, it was a very not fun experience because I'm like, oh, I just want to watch the race. Why is it not letting me watch the race? Come on, just do the race. Either postpone it for another day or do the race. But like in retrospect, it was really fun because you know my dad and I we were just sitting on the couch, we were just chilling. I think we eventually kind of, you know, broke out the cards and everything as we were just kind of listening to all the interviews with the drivers and everything as we were waiting for the race to get back underway and back racing. And it was just a really, really chill time. That in retrospect, you know, it was very, very, very fun. I do cherish those memories quite a bit. There we go. We won in the desert against the Land Cruiser. We might be able to. Boom. Big bump there. All right. Let's see if we're able to win. Let's see if we're able to win the Land Cruiser. We are. Yes. Very nice. Very, very nice. Won the Land Cruiser. We have been on a tear with unlocking new vehicles. So many new vehicles, which is nice. The vehicle again, we leveled up. Very nice. And our ranking is maintaining right at 38 consistently. We have not really gained or lost any ranking points, which definitely has. On one hand, it's very, very consistent driving from us. On the other hand, that does make me very nervous because we do have any issues. Our ranking can tumble quite quickly. All right, let's see what we have available to us. The Japanese car limited race. We do have the option to win the Nissan Stage A, which is basically a station wagon, a high-performance station wagon vehicle created by Nissan. Another cool car that I would love to see in more tuning games. More wagons. More love for wagons. Let's get hashtag more love for wagons trending on Twitter. I love my high performance wagons, everything from the CTSV wagon to the Magnum to the Japanese high performance wagons like the Legacy and Forester, you know, the turbocharged versions of those, to the Stage A's and even the Mitsubishi Lignums. Lignums are very, very deep cut. Don't really see too much of in any form of performance vehicles, but the Lignum is a really cool car. It's basically a Mitsubishi Galant wagon, and it did have a high performance variation as well. The reasons like the Knicks is because friends Joey and Shannon like the Knicks. Ah, cool. I mean, it is interesting how like other media can change your perception of a team or a driver, what have you, or can make you predisposed to liking or disliking something. Like for me with NASCAR, back in the early days, I liked Jeff Gordon, I liked Dale Earnhardt Sr. because my family, you know, we had a lot of GM vehicles growing up and everything, so I'm like, oh wow, they race Chevys too and they're really, really fast. That means I like them. And it was, or like with Sebastian Vettel, the reason I kind of really grew to like him is he was like, oh wow, he's a car nerd too. He has a lot of knowledge of like the technical aspect of everything. He has a deep love of the sport. So I'm gonna root for him. And I used to get so angry when people would boo him during the early Vettel dominance, especially in 2013. Oh, I would get so mad. So I'm like, why are you booing him? He's just fast. But yeah. It's one of those racing games and cars. I barely watch professional racing on TV. It is something that is a bit more difficult to get into, especially if you're watching American motorsports, because a lot of that is interrupted by commercial breaks. If you're looking for a series to begin following though, with shorter, quicker, sub 1 hour races, I would definitely recommend the IMSA MX5 Cup. It's a feeder series to some of the more sort of prestigious endurance racing and sports car racing. But they're all racing the itty bitty Mazda Miatas, and the racing is always super close. So they're always a lot of very late moves for the lead. Very close pack racing. They're beating and banging on each other, which is always super cool. Alternatively, I definitely recommend watching some like rallycross as well, because that's very quick, very short sprints, which always keeps sort of the excitement up. 'Cause I know some racing, it is a bit more difficult to get into, especially endurance racing, because you're like, oh, they're going on for 6, 8, 12, 24 hours, and you're like, I don't know if I want to watch all of that. Or even Formula One to some people is a bit of an endurance race where the races go on for about an hour and a half, sometimes up to 2 hours. So I can definitely understand some people, even if they do love cars, the reluctance to get into motorsport, or how motorsport doesn't quite always click with them. And I definitely get that. But there is shorter format racing out there that is a lot of fun and still very high octane. That if you haven't given that a shot, I'd maybe recommend looking at that, because that may help sort of ignite the love of sort of watching motorsport, like real life professional racing. And a lot of that's available on the YouTubes, which might be a good, it makes it more accessible, and you can kind of come back and watch bits and pieces here and there, 15 minutes here, 15 minutes there, or what have you. Oh, that Celica's going for a deep dive on the inside. Or if we're going for ball sports, the reason with being from Maryland and everything, I really liked Ray Lewis. And just because he came to speak. Yeah, he came to speak at an event that I was attending, and he was just super friendly and everything. I'm like, who is this guy? And it's Ray Lewis. He was a football player, and I didn't know that. But he was super friendly, to me and a lot of my classmates, and we went to speaking at an event that my school attended, and it was just super cool. Because before I didn't really watch football. I still have a hesitancy to kind of watch a lot of the ball sports and everything. But it's just super fun, super entertaining. So I'm like, oh, okay, I'll watch football. And for a time I was a Ravens fan, because one, it was the home team, and two, because You know, it was, you know, I met one of the players and it was super friendly. So, yeah. Our ranking has decreased just a little bit. We need to take on some more difficult events and win more difficult events to really improve our ranking. But definitely not quite able to really take it to some of these cars. Oh gosh, 25.2. Yeah, we don't have a chance at that. We do not have a single chance to win that one. Turbocharged and supercharged limited race. Ooh. A lot of vehicles we can win here. A lot of 90s and 80s Japanese cars. Yes, please. I would love to add some of those to my collection. I'll be starting right up at front because our vehicle is the slowest, which does give us a bit of an advantage going into the first turn because first turn on the Nordschleife is a little bit dicey, with most of the AI really going for a very, very aggressive approach. Oh, the turbo sounds so nice. Let's keep this car nice and stable, nice and smooth throughout these turns. There we go. Make sure we extend our gap as we're going through the twisty bits because this car does not have a whole lot of speed or power. Or, let's be honest, aerodynamics. It's kind of a brick on wheels. A very lightweight brick, but a brick nonetheless. Nightclub 3 had a ton of cars that won't feature in other racing games. Heck, some of those cars talk about even in racing games nowadays. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like a lot of those tuner cars, especially the tuner cars in like Midnight Club 1, in Midnight Club 3, would be really, really cool in like, let's say, like the new Need for Speed games as sort of lowered, you know, early game unlocks for like a lot more tuner cars. Granted, some things like Lexus and Toyota wouldn't be able to go in because of licensing and Toyota being very weird about who they give their licensing to. Oh gosh. Bad turn. Partially due to exclusivity deals and all that stuff. It's weird to see Porsche being much more available than Toyota. But like a lot of other cars, like the Cobalt SS, the Neon SAT4, those could very easily, you know, fit the theme and fit in within Unbound or, you know, the new Need for Speed games. Some of the older Mitsubishi Eclipse, well, they did just recently add the Mitsubishi Eclipse, but the older Lancer Evos could easily fit in with the new Need for Speed games. I know another racing game. This one is also a bit of a deep cut, but if you've ever played the racing game Juiced for the PlayStation 2, that game had a lot of really cool, really obscure tuner cars, like the Volkswagen Corrado VR6 would be a really cool car to add in. Or the Golf 432, you know, all of those would be very, very nice vehicles. For your European tuners, your Honda CRX. That is a car I would love to see in more racing games. I love the CRX, especially the early 90s CRXs before the Del Sol, because those are just so lightweight, very, 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 very nimble, very agile cars. I would have loved to have been a CRX Type R, because you have one of the latest chassis of, you know, based off the Civic chassis. So what you could have done is just, you know, taken the engine and transmission from the Civic Type R, and put that in the CRX, and update the suspension, lighten the body a bit more, do some body rigidity upgrades, and make that a CRX Type R, a bit later on. That would've been super cool. Even if they did do it to the Del Sol version, I think it would have been really, really nice. The other vehicles, referring to the Chevy SSR and the Dodge Super 8 Hemi. Oh, the SSR. I love the SSR. It is a truck that can't really be used as a truck, but a sports car that can't really be used as a sports car either. And because of that, it's so impractical that it loops back around to being really, really cool. Just due to the fact that it is so impractical. Because it is a convertible sports car pickup truck thing that defies all categorization. But it is just so cool, and it came in like the brightest colors too. And that is definitely a quirky car on my dream car list. It's vehicles like that I like quite a bit. Other quirky cars that I really like. I like the last generation of T-Birds as well. Granted, I know for a fact that they're not very good or reliable cars because they had the Jaguar. They had the supercharged Jaguar created V8, and they were only available in the automatic transmission. But they just they had that sort of retro nostalgia factor of being really sort of like a retro modernization of the first generation of T-Birds. They just look so cool. What are some other really obscure cars in Midnight Club 3 that I really like? I definitely like the fact that they focused more on they had a good variety of cars in general. It was a street racing game that didn't just have tuners and the occasional muscle car. Like it had luxury cars, SUVs, and motorcycles as well. And the choppers are so cool. Even if they drove horrifically, the choppers are really cool. And it was definitely one of the first games that kind of got me interested in motorcycles as well. Because beforehand I'm kind of like, motorcycles are interesting, but they're kind of scary. I'm not sure I'm really interested in them. And then I saw just how fast the sport bikes were in that game, and I'm like, oh, wow, this is nice. And I started watching, MotoGP and stuff, and I'm like, oh, wow, this is some really fun racing. And it definitely kind of started my my obsession of more than just cars, and also my love of I'm not nearly as knowledgeable about motorcycles as I am with cars, but I do quite like motorcycles as well. Pretty much any engine-powered form of transportation at this point, I'm like, yes, I want to know more about it. Like I am probably inches away. I'm probably inches away from becoming like a rail enthusiast as well. The Cadillac Sienne, the ME412, the Gambala. Oh, the Dodge Charger console. I forgot about that. On the Celine SR. The Celine SR definitely is one that I think needs a lot more love, especially more so in like track racing, or like track or simcade racing games, because it's sort of it's based off of a 4th gen Mustang, but it's got the performance and the modifications to really kind of make it a pure track performance focused vehicle that is just really nice. That, and I love the body kit on it as well. It's just very aggressive, to the point where if you weren't in the know, you would think of it as an original vehicle, as a fully original vehicle, as opposed to something that was based off of the Mustang chassis. But once you know it's based off the Mustang, the 4th gen Mustang, you're like, oh yeah, I see it in there, but just barely, which makes it so cool. The Sienna and the ME412 are also great cars. Oh, and the S302 Extreme, that one was also a really great car. Very, very nice. Especially, it had some really smooth customization for it that I think even now has aged quite well for the vehicle. Despite the game being, you know, over a decade old, almost a decade and a half old. Actually, yeah, a decade and a half old. The customization for that car, the S302 Extreme, is still very, very tasteful, I think. Oh, the car does not like heavy braking from high speeds. The rear gets very light here with the city turbo. There we go. Nice. Managed to get second place out of that. Now we have a whole lot of cars we can win. Actually really created the cover S302 Extreme and MCLA. Oh, nice. I bet that took a long time getting all the decals in place and everything. Yeah, that would take. I don't think that, because I know that game had preset decals, but I don't think any of the preset decals were anywhere close to the S302 Extreme on the cover. The cover car there. That cover car. That and the Evo 10 cover car on the complete edition, well, both of them look so nice. They were very, very, very cool looking. Roof decals weren't bad. Side decals, however. Yeah, I can imagine that would be much more difficult. So let's look at the cover. Yeah, let's pull up. Yeah, that's definitely very, very tricky, I gotta imagine, to do. Especially you know, getting everything sort of customized for it. Does make things just a little bit tricky. Oh, and the S7. S7 is such a nice car. S7 definitely needs to be in more racing games. More American supercars in general, I think. Yeah, we have no chance of winning that one. Try the Japanese car limited race. This is gonna be a little bit tricky, but it is gonna be a very, very tight, very technical track, which will benefit our little. Actually, love to have an S302 up hanging floor, maybe one day. Yeah, maybe. The 5th generation Mustangs, I think, especially more modified, slightly modified ones, I think, have aged surprisingly well, despite their age. I mean, a lot of Mustangs. I think a lot of Mustangs have aged pretty well. Whereas, and this is coming from a GM guy, the 4th generation, the F-body, like Camaros, those have not aged nearly as gracefully. Those do not quite look nearly as good. But most of the Mustangs, I will give the styling guys at Ford props. Most Mustangs have aged quite well and do look very, very nice even today. Especially the higher performance trim variations, like the Shelby or the Celine, like modified ones. Those look very, very nice. Favorite Camaro is still the 1st generation. The first generation is definitely really nice. It's you know, it's an instant, you know, it's a classic car. It's got the shorter wheelbase, very nice. It's got the racing pedigree as well. Very nice car. For me, it's tricky. I really like the second generation, the slightly longer ones. Especially the early second generation. Those look really nice, especially the Z28 models with the racing stripes. Oh, those are very beautiful cars. And both the first and the second generation Camaros, they do have, you know, Trans Am, you know, American touring car, you know, racing pedigrees as well. They are very, you know, they were very successful in motorsports, in sort of American touring car motorsports, and are just really cool cars. Hey, that's mean of you. The Accord tried to go too wide in a place where you can only really go one wide. Yeah, so for the Camaro, I definitely really like the first generation. The second generation are my favorites. I'm gonna go now. But nice chatting with you too, Midnight. Hopefully you have a great night. Hopefully, you know, you're able to celebrate. Hopefully able to celebrate the Knicks win. Sad. It's always good when your favorite, you know, the team you're rooting for wins. Anyway, hope you have a great night. All right. Let's get that place back from that Accord Euro R. Come on, we got this. We're slowly making ground. Honda versus Honda, a more luxury-focused, higher performance. The sport sedan versus a very lightweight, very nippy, turbocharged hot hatch. Gonna make things just a little bit interesting. We're gonna have to use our strengths, our handling prowess, to be able to catch up and make up the deficit that Accord is gaining on the straights. So it is pulling away just a little bit. But if you can really kind of reel it in, especially on the sort of the chicanes, like the bus stop tunnel here. Wish I could see my gap just to the car just in front, as opposed to the gap to the car that's, you know, over 10 seconds ahead. I wish I could see that. That'd be very nice. I can kind of adjust how I'm driving to how much I'm gaining or losing, and see where I'm gaining or losing. Alright, come on. We don't have a whole lot of laps left. Very quick laps here. Got a new lap record there. Little twitchy Honda City Turbo. Come on, we got this. We aren't gaining any time. We're just slowly losing time on the Accord Euro R. Which is making things just a little bit tricky. Come on, nice and easy. You got 2 laps left. Alright, come on, we got this. Let's get a good points paying position. If we finish in 3rd, or even if we finish in 4th, we still got a chance to win that Accord Euro R. Much higher performance sport sedan, which is very nice. Much higher performance vehicle. It is cool that they made, well, rather interesting that they made a Type R variant of the Honda, of the Accord. But they didn't make a Type R of the S2000, of the CRX, or of the Prelude. But they were like, you know what? Let's make a performance version of a family sedan. Yes. Very funny. To be fair though, the Accord Euro R is a very nice vehicle as well. To be fair, there's very few vehicles in this game that I wouldn't say yes to if offered the opportunity to drive them. I'd be like, yes, I want to drive it. It's a cool car. And despite the fact that a lot of them are kind of weird, quirky, or just obscure vehicles. But I love that. I love that about older racing games. You can kind of have that. I was hoping that the Accord Euro R would get caught up with lap traffic. That's not the case. I crossed the line. All right, nice. Very nice. See if we're able to win the Accord Euro R. No, we are not. Oh, that's unfortunate. One of the first times where we weren't able to win a car. We didn't level up either. On the bright side, our ranking has indeed increased, which is good. Alright, I got one more level to go with the City Turbo. Japan Grand Prix. And we don't have a chance here. We do not have a chance here. Not one bit. Nope. Sneak up a circuit challenge. We still don't have a chance there. Let's see what we have available here. A front-wheel drive limited race in Bergenschlecht. Toyota Ist, otherwise known as the Scion AA, and the Saab 9.5 Aero. I want to win that Saab. Nice drink of water there. Downside of this track though is this track does have many high-speed straights, which is a bit of a liability with the City Turbo 2. Hopefully the vehicle is tuned enough that we do not need to worry too much about that. Good start. Very good start. Let's make sure we keep this lead. Or at the very least, keep a very good points paying position. Right around the very tight right hairpin. Oh boy. I see you behind me. You're gonna make things difficult. We got a battle on our hands, ladies and gentlemen. Come on. We're managing to pull away a little bit on the straights. That brake before the Mobile 1 sign. Easy on the brakes. Into the right-hand kink. Use a little bit of curbing to help us turn in. Alright, now through the twisty bits. Oh, we got a DC2 Japanese spec Honda Integra Type R right behind us. The easy way to determine the difference between the Japanese and the American DC2 Integra Type Rs. Oh gosh. is the headlights. The Japanese version has two very kind of wide, but very, very kind of squished headlights, almost rectangular headlights, whereas the American version has 4 round headlights. And that is, outside of, the American one is also an Acura versus the Japanese one is a Honda. The other big one is just to look at the headlights. Not sure why they made the change, but it is cool to see the difference in the vehicle stylings for 2 vehicles of the same, of the same chassis and pretty much of the same performance level. Alright, let's get up with the Saab. Let's at least get a good second place finish. Past the Saab, there we go. Very nice. Look at the Saab on the inside, don't touch it. Do not touch it, the Saab is lava. Back again to the right. They slow down so much for the corners, but they have so much speed on the straights. So it makes overtaking just a little bit tricky. Because you can't really get into a battle with them. Not easily, it's going to be a lot of back and forthing. Especially when the performance difference of the 2 vehicles is so great. Let's duck back into the slipstream of the Saab down the back straight. They slowed down quite a bit there for that right-hand kink. They didn't need to do that. They could have carried speed through that corner. There we go. A little bit slower than we needed to be there, but that's okay. Alright, final couple of corners. Hopefully this is enough to level up to level 10. Then we can pick our new vehicle from the mid-size. That was a mistake on my part. I got the car crossed up under braking. That happens with very, very lightweight, very short wheelbase cars. I should have known better. It's a little bit too aggressive on the brakes. Definitely overdriving the car just a little bit. Yep, that corner complex is very tricky. That's fine, we still got third. That should still be enough to be able to level up our vehicle. The Saab did manage to beat us. Let's see if we're able to win a vehicle. Either one of those would be very nice to add to the collection. Oh, I got the Toyota Ist. Not the Saab, but still not bad. Another compact. Very, very not that great on power. But it's lightweight too, so that's fine. And still not enough to level up our car. Okay. That's fine. That's fine. That's fine. That's fine. Yeah, our rankings decreased a bit. That's okay. The quest for the illustrious level 10. Alright. Let's do another race. Let's do the low end soaring challenge. We haven't raced here yet. Oh, up against plenty of quick cars here. This is gonna be interesting. Will the lightweight, nimble City Turbo be able to outmaneuver and outdrive the much heavier, much faster, in a straight line Corvette? I think the Corvette might be the one that really challenges us. Oh, this car is so nice. Got decent acceleration now with the turbo upgrades and everything. And there goes the Corvette. We can carry more speed around on the banked corners. One of the exploits of the AI is the AI itself do not like banked corners. They slow down much more than they need to on them, which makes races at low end steering much easier. Which is good for getting points and getting a clean race as well. This track itself is very wide, very good for overtaking. And there's lots of corners, lots of high-speed sections as well, so you'll be putting lots of mileage in your car. Very, very good for just testing and honing your skills as well. Very, very good track. Which is why I wish there was more sort of fictional permanent racing circuits in this game, as opposed to the heavy prevalence of street circuits. Because the fictional racing circuits that they did create are very, very nice. And are very, very fun to race on. We've got the Jaguar right behind us, just to the left now. Hey. Now let's get back up into the lead. Let's try to anyway. We can stay within striking distance of the Jag and then get to the bank corner again. We can pass them pretty easily, but it is going to be just a little bit tricky, just a little bit. We need to get back up with. We need to get back up with the Jag. Get real close to them so we can slipstream them down the front straight, down the back of the Lion, down the back of the kitty cat. Right now we're on the tail. And there's a corner that gets wider and then tighter again as it goes uphill. Alright, through backwards, Radion. A little bit of understeer there. Gonna cost us a little bit of speed on the front straight, on the back of the cat. It's a front straight, but it's a back straight. Alright, now we're on the chin of the cat. Now we're going up onto its face. Easy, the car slowed down. Car definitely wants to dive when they're braking just a bit. And that Jaguar is still very rapid. I'm not sure we'll be able to catch it. It's gonna be really tricky. The S curves. About halfway done this lap. We should be able to level up this car to level 10 by the end of this race. Got this. I'm not sure we're going to catch the Jaguar, but we'll get a very, very solid second place against much faster opponents, which will really kind of give us lots of points to round out play through with this car. The little city turbo, it has done us very well. It's a tiny car, but it packs a mighty punch. car nice and turned in. Through Starfish, onto the tail now. Alright, final couple of corners. Here we go. Alright, through backwards Radion one more time. There we go. Nice, nice, nice. Good second place finish there. Very good. There we go. There we go. Alright, let's see. Are we able to level up? That should be enough to level up. That's more than enough to level up. There we go. Very nice. There's a City Turbo too. Lots of points. Our rankings improved. Even better. Even better. Alright, let's go to the change car. A medium sedan wagon. And we got 4 different vehicles here. If it, we'll pull up our handy dandy random number generator. If it's a 1, we'll be racing the Mazda Atenza or the Mazda 6 in the US sedan. And if it's a 4, we'll be racing the Subaru Legacy B4. Very, very nice car. And if it's any other number in between, it's be any other car in between. So let us roll the dice. Let us roll the virtual D4. 3. Ooh. So that is a Jaguar X-Type 2.5 V6 Sport. Not a whole lot of power there, with only 200-ish. And it is very, very heavy. So that's going to be interesting. That is going to be an interesting car to drive. Lots of colors though. Got Platinum, Quartz, Anthracite, Pacific, Adriatic. Ooh, that looks very pretty. I like the Adriatic color on here. Very, very nice. And that'll be the car that we'll be starting with next stream. Hopefully it serves us well. With that being said though, I'm probably gonna be ending it here. I do need to get up very, very early tomorrow morning to get a few things situated just around the house and amongst other things. So with that being said, thank you all so much for watching. If you enjoyed the stream, do be sure to leave a like, subscribe, and let me know what I'm doing well in the comments below. If you didn't like the stream, I do apologize. If you didn't like the stream, do be sure to leave a dislike, and let me know what I'm doing poorly, so I can fix that in the future. Regardless, so thank you all so much for watching. I've been Isaac Umbras, and wherever you are in the world, whatever time of day it may be for you, may it be a great time. And I will see you all in the next stream. Take care, everyone. Bye!